So the next thing I want my application to be able to do is search the database. So I'm going to look for some functionality like this. I'll have a search friends link. And when I click it, it will open up search.jsp, where there will be an input box. I can type in the name that I want to search for and click submit. And when I do, this input is going to get passed to the SearchServlet as it's going to be called SearchVal parameter. The SearchServlet will take that parameter, pass it on to the query class, where the query class will do a search of the database for that name. When the record is returned, it'll be handed back to the SearchServlet in an HTML table, just like we did for read. And since it's coming back in a table, just like we did for read, we can just reuse read.jsp. So SearchServlet will call read.jsp, but instead of handing it the table from the read query, it's going to hand it the table from the search query. And so read.jsp can be reused, and it will just display the table of all the search results that match that name. So let's take a look at how we can get this going. First thing we want to do is create search.jsp and get our hyperlinks in the place where we would like to be able to search. And so here inside of the body for search.jsp, I've given it a heading. I've just created a form. The form's name is search form. The action is search. So when I create the SearchServlet, I need to make sure the URL mapping is to this word search, all lowercase. And it's a get, so SearchVal will just get passed as a parameter in the URL. And the only other thing I need is a submit button. So it's a pretty simple form. I will go up and change the title. And I'll go ahead and link my external CSS. So I'm just going to copy that off of another page. And if I want to see what this looks like, I can just go to search.jsp. It looks good. I can put my word in that I'm searching for in there and click on search. Okay, I'll need hyperlinks now pointing to this page where I would like to be able to search. And if I look at my application, it probably makes sense that I could search from here, and it probably makes sense that I could search from inside of here. So index.jsp and read.jsp would need the hyperlink. And I'm not calling a servlet, I'm calling a JSP, a page. And inside of read was the other place I wanted to do this. Okay, if I click search friends now, it should take me to search.jsp, which it does. And if I'm inside of the read where I view them all, I should be able to search here, and I can. Okay, so my hyperlink and my form are made. Next thing I'm going to work on is this SearchQuery class. I'll need a couple of variables. A connection variable to pass from my constructor to my doSearch method, and a results to hold the search results coming back from doSearch and pass them on to the HTML table. And when I pasted these in, they want me to import, so I'll do that. Next thing I'll need is a constructor. This is the default constructor, and this constructor will be called whenever this class is instantiated and turned into an object. And this is where I will do my connection. So I'll just come over to read query. Copy that connection logic. It wants to import several things. Those all look okay, so I'll just import them. Again, since I'm copying and pasting, I'm going to have to change this from read query to search query. So now my connection is established. So the next thing I'll need to create is my method. And if I look at my doSearch method, it should look something like this. What's going to get passed in is the friend name. So I'm only searching on one field right now, just friend name. And so I'll create my query string, and this is the SQL that will do my search. Select star from friends, the table friends, where the field name, friend name, is like this token. Prepared statement uses the connection that I established above, puts the query in it, and now I need to fill in the token, and the token will be the friend name that's getting passed into doSearch. And the other thing I want to have appended in there are these percent signs. So if you remember from database, the percent signs are a wildcard. So basically what this says is there can be anything before or anything after the friend name. So if I were to search for Ben, B-E-N, that'll come in as a friend name. If it were in the database as Benjamin, B-E-N-J-A-M-I-N, it would appear because B-E-N appears somewhere in that text. Okay, so I've got my query string set. I'm populating my token. I'll need to import for prepared statement. And these are all SQL exceptions. Final thing I need to do then is return an HTML table. And we can pretty much copy that from the read query. Because I want all of these same fields to be returned. I want the update and the delete button to be in there. I'm using the friend model, all the same properties inside the model, so I think we can just do a straight copy and paste and then make modifications. Wants to import the model friends, I'll allow that. Here again, it's got read query, so I'll need to replace that with SearchQuery. And I think things look good there. Okay, I believe my search query logic is finished. So the next thing I'll do is work on my SearchServlet. And remember, for my SearchServlet, it needs to be mapped to this word in the URL mapping. This is from my JSP form for search. So I'll go into controllers, new servlet. Here's the URL pattern I want to match. Under do get, I simply want to pass execution to do post. And down here under do post is where I'll actually do my work. So here under do post, this is the basic logic that I need to do. I need to get the text that comes in from the search.jsp form. I need to create a search query helper object. I need to get the HTML table from the search query. As you can see, I copied and pasted. And then finally, I need to pass execution and control over to read.jsp along with the table coming back from search query. So the first thing let's do is get that data that's getting passed in. So I've just created a new variable called friend name, and I'm populating it with the parameters coming across from search.jsp. And remember, in search.jsp, we called it searchval. The input box was named searchval. So I can expect it to be searchval equals and then whatever letters I type in there to search. Next, let's create this search query helper object. The search query class, I'm going to make an object of it, call it SQ. It's my reference variable. New search query, and when I do this, it instantiates the search query constructor, which makes that connection. I'll have to import. Next thing I want to do now is get the HTML table from the search query object. So I've established my connection when this constructor ran. So now I'm going to run the doSearch method, and I'm going to pass into doSearch method the friend name variable from right here. So I'm populating the variable with the search parameters coming across from search.jsp. Then I'm taking that variable and I'm passing it on to my doSearch method. That would be like the name Ben or Mike or whatever. Then I'm creating a variable table of the string type, and I'm executing the method get SQL or get HTML table. So after the search results come back, then we're going to stick them in that table. That table then gets returned back here as a variable. Next, I need to pass execution onto the read.jsp. So I need to set the request attributes. So I'm going to set table to be this table, the URL, and then use the request dispatcher, just like I've been doing. Need to import request dispatcher. And I hopefully have my logic all worked out and ready to go. So let's give it a test. So let me search for Ben. Perfect. I might want to set something in the logic. This is kind of for future development, so that if there is not a result, that it says there is no search result. The other thing that I might want to work on, I wonder if this is case sensitive. It appears to be case sensitive. So I need to work on that so that it'll return any match, basically. So I want to work on that case sensitivity. So it will return this, but it would also return on all caps, so capital M, capital A, capital T, or in all lowercase. Because really, case sensitivity isn't a big deal for me in this situation. I just want to be able to find the word. And if I want to do a case insensitive search, so upper lowercase doesn't matter, I'm going to get into my search query. And I'm going to set that field name, the results of that field name, I'm going to set those to all uppercase. So essentially, as it's going through the field name, it's going to turn all those results into uppercase. Then since the search is going to be in all uppercase up here, I will turn my value that's getting passed in here. I'll use the .toUppercase method and turn it to all uppercase. So essentially, whether I'm searching for proper case Matt like this, or all lowercase Matt, or all uppercase Matt, I could search any of those, or some weird combination like MA, capital T, doesn't matter. In my query string, I'm going to set all of the results coming back in SQL to uppercase, and I'm going to set the Matt, the word that I pass in, to uppercase, and so it makes them case insensitive. I hope. Let's try. So before, an all lowercase would fail. And now it doesn't. So the case insensitivity is working. One last thing that's kind of making me crazy here is I want these to appear in order, so the newest is always at the bottom. So let me just see if I can do an order by in my SQL for my read query. And to do that, I'm going to use the order by. So select star from friends was my SQL query for the do read method in the read query. I'm going to add order by the column that I want to set the order of. So I want to order it by friend ID, by that primary key, by the number basically. And I want it in ascending order, ASC. I could also set this, let's see, if I do ASC, it looks like this. So lowest number to highest number. I can also do descending. If I would like my newest records to always appear at the top. So I can decide how I would best like to see that. So I'm going to test this search just a little bit more. So I have a Matt. I'm going to add a Matthew. And I'm going to add another one with Matt at the end. So now when I search for Matt, it should pick up the one that's just regular Matt, the one that has Matt at the beginning, and the one that has Matt at the end. So it should return 3 records. Let's see. It does. And those are out of order as well. So I can go in and set the search, the order by for the search query as well. And now the oldest is on top, the newest is on bottom. I could order it by name or age or any other way I choose to order it. I'm using friend ID here. So it looks like we have search working well, and we've got this order by, which is kind of another little feature we threw in there. So everything seems to be working good for our database.